Matrix multiplication. The way we multiply two elements. In matrix multiplication, we are multiplying two tables. So your matrix is what? It is just a tabular form. It's just a way to represent the values in rows and columns. So rows are horizontal, columns are vertical. So in matrix multiplication, the most important thing is the dimension. So we represent each element of a matrix like A, I, J. I represent the row and J represent the column. Okay. So when we do this matrix multiplication, the first thing is, what is the dimension of the first matrix? Second matrix, what is the dimension? So if you say this is a matrix and call it that it has M cross N dimension, the second matrix is say K by L. What does it mean? Multiplication is possible only when this N is equal to K. When the column of the first matrix equals the row of the second matrix. N has to be equal to K, then only the matrix multiplication is possible. And the result will be having how many rows and columns? M into L, the row of the first matrix and the column of the second matrix. So there are 4 rows here. So what is the dimension? 4 and 3 columns. So 4 by 3 is the dimension. What is the dimension of the second matrix? It's 3 rows and 2 columns. So when you multiply, 3 and 3 are same because now the multiplication is possible. And the result will be, the dimension of the resultant matrix will be 4 by 2. Okay? 4 by 2. How do we actually visualize it? See, when you visualize it, same matrix I'm multiplying. What we do is, we take the first row and the first column. And you take corresponding values like A11 with B11 multiplied, write it here. Multiply A12 and B21, write it here. Multiply A13 with B31, write it here. And then you add them. This is the first element that you will put in the resultant matrix. This term, okay? Now, remain to the first row and now you will increase the column. Now you go to the second column. So A11 into B12, write it here. A12 into B22, write it here. A13 into B32, write it here and add them. So when you add, this will be the second entry in the resultant. This is the entry here. Now you go to the second row. And now second row with the first column, second row with the first column and the second column. Third row, first column, second column. Fourth row, first column, second column. Now there are 2 matrices. How many rows and columns are there? It has 3 rows and 1 column. How many rows and columns are here? 2 rows and 3 columns. Matrix multiplication is possible or not? No. Because the column of the first matrix is not equal to the row number of the second matrix. It is not possible. Now see the actual example of matrix multiplication. How do we do this? So first we have to see the dimension. That is, the column of the first matrix should be equal to the row of the second matrix. So how many rows and columns are there? 3 by 2. 3 by 3. 3 by 4. How many rows? 4 and 4. 4 by 2. Now the column of the first matrix is equal to the row of the second matrix. It is possible. Now what will be the result? The result will be 3 by 2 matrix. The first row and the second column. Okay. So what do? We start with the first row and the first column. 1 into 5. 0 into 1. Write it here. 3 into 0. Write it here. Negative 2 into 8. Write it here. Now add them. So you get a value negative 11. This will be the first entry. Negative 11. Right. Now, first row and second column. We have to complete first row with all the columns in the second matrix. So what do? I'll just do it. 1 into 1. Write it here. 0 into 7. Write it here. Then 3 into 3. 3 multiplied by 3. Write it here. Negative 2 into negative 3. Write it here. And just add them. When you add them, what will be the final value? The final value will be 16. It will be put here. Right? Now, when the first matrix is done, first row is done, come to the second column and again do it with second row, do it with all the columns of the second matrix. Okay. So when you 2 into 5, 8 into 1, 4 into 0, 3 into 8, when you multiply and add, you get 42. Now 2 into same second row with the second column now. 2 into 1, 8 into 7, 4 into 3, 3 into negative 3. That will be 61. Now coming to the third row and first column. It will be 7 into 5 plus negative 1 into 1 plus 0 into 0 plus 2 into 8 into 2. That will be 50. And then the 7 into 1, negative 1 into 7, 0 into 3, 2 into negative 3, and that gives you a value negative 6. Okay.